Namaste, everyone. Thank you for joining us today as we discuss films focusing on youth action, climate, and gender. This interaction was made possible by British Council Nepal as part of the second season of Youth Climate Cafe initiative under the Road to COP program. I'm your moderator for today. I'm Smriti Basnet. I'm a producer and I'm one of the executive directors of Katha, Haru, a Kathmandu-based production company. Interestingly, we're also currently collaborating with the British Council to make a youth-led climate action documentary. We just wrapped up production and we had a difficult yet fun journey filming three youth enterprises and youth leaders who were working on climate change. So we're shaping up the film and can't wait to share it with you all. Talking of opportunities, I'd also like to share that there's currently an open call for films. The British Council, in support of the Children Film Society, is calling for films in Nepal made by young people under 18 years of age. One can send in their original films for a chance to win exciting prizes and opportunities. The Children Film Society is an initiative of the Film Development Board Nepal and is being supported by Interfilm UK, British Council, and UNICEF. So if one is interested, they can submit original short films on one of the three themes: climate change, cultural heritage, or inclusion. Up to 10 films will be selected for a round of voting before announcing the final winners, and all selected films will be part of a children's film festival in March 2023. Now for our patiently waiting speakers, welcome again. We have three wonderful budding Nepali filmmakers with us today. All three made short films as part of the Road to COP26 and Camera Sika 30 Days Filmmaking Grant in 2021. So together we'll be discussing their work, what they accomplished under the program, and talk about the process behind their work. Just to begin, we'll briefly introduce each one of the filmmakers. We have Annapurna, a young filmmaker who documented the lives of girls living near Kathmandu. Her documentary speaks volumes of the ongoing climate crisis with emphasis on water shortage. Welcome, Annapurna. Next, we have with us Titikshya, another young filmmaker with us who has documented the stories of a marginalized community. Well done, Titikshya, and welcome. And lastly, we're joined by Samrat Dhungana, who's both a filmmaker and who also teaches robotics. That's quite something. And Samrat there has filmed the post-Manang flood situation, documenting the lives of school-going children. Titikshya's film won the Climate Champion Award, while her films were also screened at Sharjah International Film Festival and KIMF. Samrat's film Blue Moon Turning into Grey won the KIMF Green Growth Green Recovery Award, and all three films were screened at the Blue Pavilion at COP26 last year in Glasgow. So we have very talented filmmakers here with us. Welcome once again. Let's maybe begin by introducing ourselves and our films a bit. We can start with Annapurna.
Hi, my name is Annapurna and I'm 16 years old. Basically in my film, it just talks about how the effects of climate change actually also affect the lives of two girls from Patle village, which is like 2 hours away from Kathmandu.
Thank you, Annapurna. Titikshya?
Hello, everybody. I am Titikshya Dhakal. I'm 14 years old. I'm a young filmmaker. And my film Santhal speaks about indigenous community in Nepal, which also live in India and Bangladesh, especially the Jharkhand area. And my film has tried to show the impacts of climate change and effects of climate change to them.
Let's move on to Samrat. Samrat, tell us about your film.
Hello everyone, I'm Samrat Dhungana and I recently completed my high school. So yeah, my film Blue Moon Turning into Grey covers the story from Manang about the post-flood situation over there. So yeah.
All three of you have some great stories, and I think I'm very excited to discuss with you all. Titikshya, we'll start with you. So when you, how did you first come to know about the Santals? How did you come to know about their story? Could you tell us a bit?
Yeah, of course. Santhal भन्नाले चाहिँ अब हाम्रो घर अलिकति रुरल एरियामै पर्छ, राइट? अनि यो रुरल एरियाको चाहिँ वरिपरि अब सतार जाति भनेर चिनिन्छ जसलाई, उहाँहरूलाई सन्थाल सतारलाई चाहिँ अलिकति फार्मिङमा चाहिँ क्लाइमेट चेन्जको एडभर्स इफेक्ट मैले सानैदेखि देखेर आइरहेको. अनि आई अलवेज वान्टेड टु do a kind of research on them and how are they suffering from the climate change. And as I got a chance to write a script, I immediately thought of Santals who were quite close to me while I grew up, and during my, the the teen grade and the child grade, those people taught me a lot thing about love and life, so I just wanted to help them to make their voice represent in international and national level so they could get some help. So that's it. My idea came from when I was a little child, and I just grabbed the opportunity. That's it.
That's so lovely. And I guess the story itself is so personal to you, so close to you, right? It's so wonderful to learn about that. And when you started filming, you already knew how important the issue was going to be, right? So how did you approach them first? Were they open to you, or did you have to form a relationship with them? How was it like?
No, it was quite simple because I knew them from quite a long ago, and basically speaking, that I knew them day and night. I used to be in front of them, but also the idea of filmmaking was quite new for them. And when I explained them what the filmmaking is and how their voices will be raised into a next level, which they even don't know about, they were quite excited that they are gonna share their culture and their pain and their suffering with me. They were quite emotional on the scene and the shot. When we were shooting them, they were like, there are somebody who are still listening to us, and we were like a hope to them. So that basically touches me, and so I have given my best in this project.
How wonderful. How wonderful. Thank you, Titikshya. I'll quickly ask Samrat one thing. Samrat, you chose to film the post-flood situation in Tal, in Manang, right? Like Titikshya, did you happen to know the village beforehand, or when it happened, you decided to cover the aftermath as soon as it happened? How was the process for you? How did you find the story?
So yeah, I was very skeptical in my pre-production phase. अनि लाइक मैले चाहिँ आफ्नो प्रपोजलमा पनि 3वटा प्लेसमा चाहिँ मैले सुट गर्छु भनेर राखेको थिएँ होइन। एउटा चाहिँ त्यति बेला रिसेन्टली नै कता पर्वतमा चाहिँ त्यो ल्यान्डस्लाइडको केस भएको थियो। अनि त्यो मनाङको केस चाहिँ लाइक जुनतिर भएको थियो। अनि अब प्रपोजलहरू लेख्दाखेरि अलमोस्ट लाइक मेबी सेप्टेम्बर अक्टोबरतिर थियो होला। अनि त्यसपछि अर्को ठाउँ चाहिँ मेरो लाइक विलेज नजिकै भएको चाहिँ त्यहाँनिर एउटा कम्युनिटीलाई ल्यान्डस्लाइडले अफेक्ट गर्न लागेको कुराहरूमा त्यसमा 3टा कुरालाई चाहिँ इन्क्लुड गरेर मैले प्रपोजल लेखेको थिएँ। अनि त्यसपछि अब पछि अब त्यसलाई नै अझ वर्कआउट गर्दै गइसकेपछि चाहिँ मैले अब 3वटा ठाउँमा भन्दा पनि सर्ट फिल्म हो, सो लेट्स मेक इट सर्ट भनेर चाहिँ आई सोज ताल मनाङ। अनि त्यसपछि मनाङमा चाहिँ म त्यस्तो पहिला कहिले पनि गएको छैन, अनि गएको थिइनँ भनौँ न। अनि त्यसपछि मैले मनाङको बारेमा सबै थाहा पाएको भनेको न्युज पेपरबाट, अनि त्यसपछि न्युज मिडियाबाट, अनि त्यसपछि बाँकी रहेको सबै फोन कल्सहरूबाटै थाहा पाओ।
When you actually went there, was it different from what you imagined it to be, or was it it was even more than expected? Were you overwhelmed by what was happening around?
Actually, like I was looking to the photographs of Tal, so I think like त्यस्तो एकदमै overwhelmed पनि भएन अब त्यही हो।
Thanks, Samrat. Now to Annapurna, you've decided to film girls, right? And girls maybe of your own age. So I think in your film as well, there are such personal moments. They talk about their lives. How did you build that connection with the girls? I mean, how was that process for you?
Yeah, so I'm actually really shy. So when we were filming, the first day we just went to sort out everything, and then we went again the day after for 2 days. And in the beginning, I was really shy. I went with my dad, so he did most of the talking. But when we revisited, I just gotten my nails done, and the girls had thought that it was really pretty on the first day. So I actually brought along nail polish. the second time we went. And it's actually in the film too, her painting her nails, because I thought that would be a really cute shot. And basically, we just kind of bonded over that, and we started talking about general things. And yeah, and when they were talking about like really personal things, like at some point she talks about her period, and that's kind of difficult to talk about, especially for girls like in the village. And for that, we kind of I sat in the room alone with them, and I sent everyone outside, and I was like, okay, it's just you and me, let's just talk about this. It's not something to be ashamed about. Let's just, and yeah, I had to build a personal connection before I could get them to really open up, especially about things like that.
Yes, and it shows in your film as well, because when they speak to you, they're speaking like it's coming from the heart, right? So I think as a filmmaker, you've really done something great there as well. Um, Coming back to Samrat, actually, Samrat, so like I mentioned, you won the Green Growth, Green Recovery Award during KIMF as well, right? Was that something you were expecting? I mean, how had you imagined your film would be received, and how did you feel when that happened?
Maybe I would call that a beginner logs. किनकि लाइक त्यस्तो
That's
म पहिला
very humble.
फिल्ममेकिङले त्यस्तो केही पनि गरेको पनि होइन, अनि मेरो फ्यामिली पनि त्यस्तो फिल्म मेकिङतिर कोही पनि हुनुहुन्थेन होइन. सो या तर अब किम्फबाट कल आइसकेपछि चाहिँ म त्यहाँनिर स्क्रिनिङ हुँदैछ भनेपछि पोखराबाट यता काठमाडौँ आएँ. अनि त्यसपछि फर्स्ट डेमा नि अब त्यहाँनिर झुकेर चाहिँ त्यहाँनिर त्यो प्रिन्ट भएको रहेछ कि होइन, मिसप्रिन्ट भएको रहेछ त्यहाँ विनर भनेर. अनि पछि चाहिँ मलाई भन्नुभएको थियो. अनि त्यो फर्स्ट डेमै आफ्नो नाम चाहिँ विनरमा देखेको अलिक सक पनि भएको थियो. त्यही हो.
Oh, that's very humble. Thanks, Samrat. But how did you feel when I'm sure you had some audience interaction at the festival as well? How were they responding to your film? And at that moment, what did you think, or what did you feel?
सो या लाइक म चाहिँ एकचोटि त्यहाँनिर हाम्रो युरोपियन युनियनबाट चाहिँ एकजनाको सर अम्बर मैनाली सर आउनुभएको थियो. अनि उहाँसँग कुरा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ के भन्छ, अरूहरूले चाहिँ त्यो फिल्म राम्रै तरिका लिनुभएको रहेछ, तर हामीले आफैले खिचेको भएर पनि होला होइन, अब त्यो सेकी क्यामेराज अनि सेकी क्लिप्सहरू प्लस त्यस्तो अब हेभी त्यस्तो एकदमै ठुलो इक्विपमेन्ट पनि थिएन र नर्मल क्यामेराले खिचेको फिल्म थियो. अनि त्यही भएर चाहिँ I was very skeptical, तर पछि जित्यो, जस खुसी लाग्यो.
That's great. That's great. And I'll go to Titikshya. Titikshya, your film even traveled to Sharjah Film Festival, right? And tell us about that. I mean, how was it seeing your film at the Sharjah Film Festival? Tell us about your journey, your experience.
It was great, honestly speaking. I never even in my dreams imagined I would be visiting Dubai, you know. I stayed there, I guess, for 7 days, a total week. And all we did was watch films, talked with the producers, directors from international levels. They were so kind and hospitable. They were like giving their best to teach us things. They told that the main priority in their life is us, you know, the young filmmakers, because we were the one who is gonna make it big tomorrow. And they were very gentle and caring. Like they made us feel like my own home, even though I was 1,000 miles away from my home, you know. And I got emotional the very last day because I had to leave my friends. You know, in the 7 days I made friends that I could not make in the over past 10, 12 years of my life. So I kind of built a connection, and moreover, I also got the learnings and knowledge. I got experience which I thought I would never get. So basically, the filmmaking and the film industry, I changed my mind. That I changed the total way of thinking how filmmaking was before visiting Sharjah and after visiting Sharjah. We also won the Sustainability Award Championship, and the Sharjah Emirates congratulated the whole Nepal for that. The
Wow.
Nepal, it was quite nice. And remembering those days, I feel quite emotional. Like, you know, I want to go back there again and live the moment. So that's it.
I'm sure you will, Titikshya, at such a young age. You've come this far, so there's a lot more to do.
I have a
More and more to go. Right. And how about you, Annapurna? How were your films received? Tell us a bit more about what people thought, what people shared.
Yeah, so most of the comments I got was just my family and friends congratulating me. They were all very proud. And I think a lot of them also didn't realize how closely gender and climate change related. So I was quite happy that I could show them that connection through my film.
So building on that as well, and that's something that kind of really struck as well. And I think people right now are realizing this connection between climate change and gender, right? That women face it differently than men, and I think women bear more of the brunt, right? And I think there are multiple lines in your films said by the girls that explains that as well, especially the one where they said that I don't get time to even play or study, things like that. So when you discovered that, you as a woman and you kind of belonging to the same age group, how did you what did you feel about that?
So obviously I always knew about the gender disparity, the unequal opportunities. I myself don't face that. I come from an incredibly privileged background, and I didn't. I knew that it existed, but I did not know to what extent. And yeah. Wait, can you please repeat the question? I kind of forgot it.
No, I just wanted to find out how you felt about when you found out about that there is there is gender disparity, and another, climate change kind of exaggerates that gap, right? That disparity, right? So I just wanted to know your own discovery as a filmmaker, how you felt when you found out that, oh, girls my age are facing this problem. So I just wanted to understand how you felt when you found that out.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really expect there to be a link between those two. And I think that kind of like opened my horizons to how there could be so many other links. It's not just climate change harming the environment. There's a multitude of other things. I mean, I didn't think that there could be a link between gender and climate change, but yeah, it was quite shocking.
Yes, thanks. And I think that's the beauty of a film, right? Film plays a great role, not for the issue that's being covered, but also for the filmmaker. The filmmaker is on their journey on their own. And talking about journey, Samrat, I guess you do it wonderfully because we see it in your film. You go to document an event, sorry, a disaster, and when you kind of start talking to people, then you find about the school, then you find a kind of a relationship between how climate change induced disasters is affecting the school, the children of that community. And when you slowly make that connection and you make the viewers realize that as well, right? So how were the people there also making that link, or was it after you started filming there that even they became aware?
I think the community was pretty conscious about climate change because they were reporting me about the incident of like the glacier flood in above the Monang. So I think they were conscious about climate change, but I don't see everybody there to be like knowing about how is it happening and how they are affected by it. So yeah.
And did your filming process, or did your film help them in any way, in terms of maybe educating children more about disaster preparedness, maybe, or educating children about climate change? Did your film kind of contribute to that, do you think?
I think it definitely contributed there, but I'm quite skeptical to answer this question.
Yes. Same as Titikcha, I think you also have a long, long way to go. More climate change stories to film, right? To make a bigger impact also. in the future. Coming to Titikshya as well, like you shared initially, you travel to a very travel to a community that's very not as privileged, and they're very marginalized, right? And what do you think, if you had not made the film, if you had not made this film to show people that there's such a community, would it have come out, or how do you feel your film contributed as well?
Okay, so this is quite a risky question, I would say. I don't know what would have happened if I didn't got the idea of Santals, and I don't know what would have happened if Santals didn't got the opportunity to make their own film and saw it worldwide or something like that. But the Santals, every individual of the Santal community are very kind and hardworking. They make their hands and mouth meet by themselves. They just find a way to tackle the obstacles by themselves. They are quite they haven't got any education. The government, I would say the government even don't know about them or something like that, because they are just 50,000s. There are just 50,000 or so Santals scattered in many places of Nepal. So it doesn't seem to be a big deal for the Nepal who have like 3 crore or something citizens, but they are like the gems, who are not discovered by others. So I'm very happy that I did that thing, but I don't know anything. If I have done, I didn't did that, I don't know what would have happened. I don't know the results that I haven't worked on, So I would say that they would find a way to make themselves happy, even if I went there or even if I didn't, So that's how I think. Yeah.
And that's actually a beautiful way to put it, Titikshya. Thank you for that. And just to add one more thing, do you think, you've made a film, people have seen it, it's traveled to Sharjah, right? You've received feedback, you received comments. So do you think that way film is a way to kind of show people, film is a powerful medium to show people that, there are such people, this is what is happening to them, and we need to help out, do you think film plays a role there?
Absolutely, film plays an absolutely big role. It's just been 2 years since I'm working in this thing. Even if it is a small project or a big one, filmmaking is, now a part of my life. Not only that, it carries a huge, the thing that it has to show others. Not only the voice it is carrying, but the process of filmmaking is just too beautiful. We don't only film. We rarely film a documentary or film by ourselves. We have the cameraman and the producer team, director, and everybody has their own, important the responsibilities and roles. They all are equal, and the teamwork we do in the filmmaking is just way too pure and surreal. Like the filmmaking thing, the pre-production, the post-production, and the everything, it teaches us a lot that we can't, I guess we can't learn from the other way. And not only that, it carries voices and it helps the marginalized communities to stand out, but the way the filmmaking is, is, I just think it's way too good to be real. That's it.
Thank you, Titikshya. How about you, Samrat? What do you think? Is film a very powerful medium to communicate positive actions, to influence change? What do you feel?
Yeah, definitely. I think like film plays a very important role in our lives, because as we all have smartphones and we go through Facebooks, Instas daily, like seeing some shorts and reels over there, we feel touched by some films. And so I think like short movies and short films are very powerful in a way that they can educate a whole community world about climate change.
Thank you, Samrat. Annapurna, I'm very tempted to ask the same question to you. What do you feel about the power of a film, a role of a film to contribute to the society?
Yeah, so I actually do study film in school, and we're learning a lot about how film movements influence so much revolution, other movements, and I think what I did obviously was very small, but I felt part of a bigger thing.
Lovely, lovely. Guys, you guys are such insightful panelists. I mean, I'm loving this. Um, so just briefly talking about maybe your biggest learning from making this film. Can we do that one by one? Maybe let's start with Titikcha. What do you think is your biggest takeaway, biggest learning from making this film?
The biggest learning, I can't just, take a part and just say the biggest learning, because everything I've learned in this filmmaking journey, ever since I started this, every moment I would say it has a whole, an important role in my life that I would say I will not forget till the day I will die. The biggest, if I have to, make a scarcity, if I have to make one thing that has the ultimate importance, is that I would say things don't go the way we think. We don't know about what the thing is going there. We may see a thing that may not be true. We may listen a thing that may not be true. We may think that the project is too easy, and when we go to the field, it may be very hard. Or like, if we think it will be very easy, tomorrow it will be a beautiful day and we'll be shooting it. And if it rained the other day, it will be very bad. And filmmaking, I'm still a child, I would say. I'm just 14, and not even completely 14, but the thing filmmaking taught me is that don't expect anything but work for it. Like, if we expect something and if we don't get it, we will be heartbroken. I have been heartbroken many times, not that much, but still. So if we don't expect anything and if it doesn't hurt us, it doesn't matter. And if we don't expect it and if it does hurt us, it will not be a big role, or it will not give a big impact. So just do. I'm no one to like tell you to do this, but if you would listen me, I would just say, just do what your heart says to do. Just go on the way where you feel like you enjoy, you are suitable. So don't expect many things from others, but work on it for yourself, and honestly truly believe on yourself always.
Wonderful. Thank you, Titiksha. What about you, Samrat? What do you think is your major takeaway or learning from this filmmaking process, the film you made?
Yeah, for me, my film gave me a sense of hope. Like I could see people living amid the hopelessness, and I gained resilience from them. Also I gained the melody to start again after the setbacks, and also like I could see people working together to support, to rebuild their lives, to rebuild their village. So I think for me, like my film gives me hope, even during my hard times. It gives me a sense of hope. Like, so that's it.
Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you. How about you, Annapurna?
So with my film, I think it helped me more than it helped anyone else, really. Um, I did learn a lot about my own privilege. Like I just said, I went to get my nails done and they were excited about that. And it just seemed like such a small thing, but to them it was really exciting. And yeah, not only that, it's like I learned a lot about filmmaking, really, a lot about cinematography, like Titikshya said. A lot of things did not go as planned. Um, we went to film that day, and then she had her exams, and then she came home late, and it was a whole mess. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And
That's great, because as filmmakers, I think, and you guys rightly said it, we're always learning. We're learning to improvise, all those things all at once. I guess all three of you are so young and you dealt with such a complex topic. I think topic that even bigger filmmakers, like older filmmakers, struggle to kind of grapple, kind of show and portray, right? So what was your takeaway when it came to what did you learn about climate change? I mean, is there more to be done, or is there nothing you can do? What did you learn about climate change through when you're making this film? I guess we'll go with Annapurna first, and then Samrat, and then Titikshya.
Oh yeah, I feel like I'm just repeating what I'm saying right now. But yeah, just how climate change doesn't only affect the environment. There's so many other things that it links to. And yeah.
Thanks. Yes. Samrat, just briefly, maybe just what you learned about climate change and what films can do.
So yeah, like floods, landslides, they are quite noticeable factors of climate change. But as Annapurna said, there are also many hidden factors or many hidden effects that we don't see, and the cause is of course the climate change. So yeah, I think like films can be a good way to communicate to the audience, greater audience, about how climate change is affecting others' life.
Thank you, Samrat. Titikshya, what about you?
Okay, so what did I learn from about climate change from this film? So as I heard yesterday that somebody thought climate change is just a thing, while you plant a tree, it just fades away. You know, I just thought the same way way before when I started this project, but that I am gradually learning something new. I'm going in the depth. I am finally knowing how big climate change is and how big the effects are and how we will be suffering in the future days. I just saw a small group who are suffered way lot than we are being suffered by the sun, which is in Chapa. You know, the sun is very tempting and it does a lot of harm to us. And those marginalized communities were more affected. So I think that climate change is such a huge topic that we should be working on from now. We should not be procrastinating in the thing that which we should be working for the climate change for today, for tomorrow, for the sustainability, and just like that we have to start planting trees to make the climate change go away, fade away, you know. We have to just sing the rhymes like climate change go away. So that's what I learned, and I still think that planting more trees will help us tackle with the climate change. So I think I would be working on climate change and its programs way back up to a long time. You know, I think it will be going to be I think it will be a long journey for me. It's just a first beginning, I would say.
Thank you. Now, as we come to sort of the end of our discussion as well, I want to ask my favorite question. That is, what are you? What are your future plans? Are you planning to make more films on climate change, or make more films at all? And maybe we'll start with Annapurna first.
Yeah, so a really fun story. My school right now, ULINS, they used to offer film studies, but then they had to shut down the class because there weren't enough students. But me and three of my friends, we went to the coordinator, we went to the French teacher who had a lot of experience in film, and we begged them to reopen the class. So they reopened the class, and I am a film studies student, and I have a lot of fun. So,
That's very encouraging. Thanks. Thanks on behalf of the others as well, Annapurna. Samrat, what about you? Your future plans?
So yeah, like I hope to make some good films in my future, but they will be more in a fun way rather than
Okay, great. But more power to you as well. Best of luck. Um, Titikshya, what about you? What are your future plans?
As Annapurna says, she had been taking classes of filmmaking and others, you know, but my school doesn't have that kind of facility. I live in quite a rural area, but my family is quite, you know, the developed ones. You know, they have a developed mind, I would say, and they are willing to support me in every situation if I'm doing right. You know, the only training I had of the filmmaking was just for a week or so by the British Council and the Camera Sika projects, you know. And I guess I will be learning from my experience rather than the books. So I would, these 4 months, I'm going to give the essay exams, and literally saying there are a lot of more pressures and a lot of things that I have to handle for these 4 months. And after these 4 months, I am not quite sure, but I will try to continue this filmmaking journey. And even if I didn't get it as a full-time career, I promise, I will not promise, but I'm sure that I will be continuing this filmmaking journey, even if it is as a part-time job or something. Because, you know, as I said earlier, we should follow our heart, and this thing is what my heart says to follow me. But if there is any conditions where I have to leave it, I will not leave it. I'll just pause it for a moment, and I'll come back and I'll resume it, and I will enjoy my filmmaking.
Thank you, Titikshya. Thank you, Annapurna. Thank you, Samrat. It's really, truly, it's been wonderful, insightful, actually reassuring to talk to the three of you, because such young people coming out, making such good films, with a very promising future as well. It's very rare to find these days, and it's very nice. And I hope this encourages other young people as well to make films about climate change, to make films about other issues. And I guess the three of you are really inspiring, and best of luck for the future, and more power to the three of you. And before we end this session, I'd like to reiterate that there's an open call. There's currently an open call. The British Council, in support of the Children Film Society, is calling for films in Nepal made by young people under 18 years of age. Anyone who's interested can send in their films for a chance to win exciting prizes and opportunities. One can submit original short films on one of the three themes: climate change, cultural heritage, or inclusion. Up to 10 films will be selected for a round of voting before announcing the final winners. And all selected films will be a part of the Children's Film Festival, which is to take place in March 2023. So with this, I'd like to thank the three of you once again. Thank you for joining. And I hope we get to meet in person also soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.